Hey there, Steve again. Earlier today, I had a battle with some stranger on the random triples thing, or not triples, but random 3-on-3, uh, free battle, of course, because I am not about to get graded on a battle that I've had. And as you can see, their team, they had what do you call it? Yveltal on there, as well as a Zoomeril and a Dragonite. Initially, I saw their team viewer. They had like Metagross and a bunch of little, Ubers, tiers, or not Ubers, but overused tier stuff. And I figured, okay, I could probably still take them. But this match turned out to be the most hacks-filled, just nonsense and lucking out on their part until the very end. So I'm going to just let you see what I mean. Now, I started this battle off. I mean, if things would have worked out the way I wanted them to, this would have just went very smoothly. I started with Barbarical. They started with Dragonite. Now, Dragonite isn't going to do jack squat, so I go for the Shell Smash immediately. I'm running Shell Smash with the good old White Herb, so the minute I get the defense down, I get that defense right back so I can take whatever hit was going to hit me if I didn't get hit already. But dude gets a crit on the first hit. I go for Stone Edge and it misses. He goes for another Dragon Claw, which technically should not kill me, but whatever, it did. I guess crits in this game are not double. It's like 1.5 extra or something, so I guess it really killed me. I go for my Rock Blast. It doesn't work. He uses Thunderbolt. And this is where I'm just like, this match is stupid because I get paralyzed immediately. And then I feel like he must not have even, like his team must not be trained or anything, like not IV or EVs or anything. He must have just been a regular dude. And for the whole fight, I was really hoping that this non-specified, not really well done team would just beat me. He actually is able to go through this entire battle with this one Dragonite to get me down to my last Pokemon. I started making this Jellicent last night. I bred all last night and I trained it all day today. And well, this thing is, what is it, 5 IV, acceptance speed, boosted defense, IVs and defense and special defense and hit points. And so this thing is designed to be able to take some kind of hit. So Dragonite only had a little bit of health to begin with, so that goes down. And this is where the battle turned into a stalling fight. Because Yveltal's Oblivion Wing recovers 75% instead of 50% like most other recovery moves. So it took out a nice chunk and got crits here and there. I used recovery. I kept using recover, actually. And they would use Oblivion Wing. Not surprising. And I finally got a burn off to try and neuter some of this damage because he was doing entirely too much to me. Meanwhile, I still got my lefties, which is the only thing that actually made this battle survivable. So that burn that should have been able to stop him was being counteracted by that Oblivion Wing almost every time. And so he would recover a bunch of health off of me and get back to full before I used recover again, like so. And then he would get a small amount of damage from the burn after I recovered from my leftovers, like so. And as you can imagine, he's doing more or less the same damage from each of these. Let's see, he's doing about what? Well, that was a crit. It had to be crit. Yeah, that was a crit. These should only be doing around 60 per hit. And I got 200 hit points. I recover 100 per recover. So I should be able to basically suck one of those up and recover it back as long as I'm over 75. And they don't get another crit, which they seem to have gotten a lot of hacks this match to begin with. They go for another Oblivion Wing, of course. Gets me down really close. But you know, I'm just sitting here like, I don't really have options. This is my last poke. So I'm going to just keep using recover until I can actually do something. I mean, this sucker is really my only option. If I don't use recover, and it's already burned, Will-O-Wisp won't do anything. If I attack and I don't have enough hit points, that's just sealing my fate, essentially. And taunt doesn't really matter when he's only using one attacking move over and over again. So I did use a Scald here and there, like just now. But considering he was recovering just as much health from me hitting him, or from him hitting me with his Oblivion Wing as I was doing to him, it really meant nothing because every time I would hit him, it would just come right back the next turn. But I had enough recovers. And this battle is a very good testament to math being important, because several times in this fight, especially during this part, I was totally intent on just forfeiting because I only have one Pokemon left. This dude has got a paralysis off with his first Thunder Shot, or his first Thunderbolt. He's got me missing two of my moves that would have definitely just taken him down. I had a +2 on a Stone Edge, and the Pokemon that had it was just taken out like it was nothing. My Chinchino should have been able to Rock Blast both Dragonite and this thing to, you know, the next world. But Dragonite was just bulky enough to survive it. And that was only after me missing the first time and being paralyzed on some BS. You see this is the same cycle of nonsense that has been happening, like in real time. Me actually watching this battle took like 30 minutes. It won't take 30 minutes to record, I'm sure, but in real life, when this was happening, this was like 30 minutes. And this was 30 minutes of me having a Jellicent and just reusing recover. So this is not a very happening battle, I'll say. But this was a very stressful battle. Not as stressful as the Lucario one, but genuinely stressful enough for me to really want to quit it. But thank math that Oblivion Wing has 10 power points to it. And this dude didn't have power point ups because his team doesn't seem like it's actually that well made. So he ran out of Oblivion Wings and started having to use his other moves, which meant his recovery option was completely depleted. So I could start attacking him again as long as I kept my hit points over half, and I would have been fine. Like, this thing is specially focused to begin with. The stats are about special attack. So this thing using Fly on me isn't going to do squat. Use Psychic, whatever. This thing's got special defense up the butt. I get that Scald. Now, this dude is probably so feeling he had this battle in the bag until this thing started just kind of stalling. This thing got him in the burn. He used a Psychic again. I think I used Recover again. I'm pretty sure. Yes, I can get up to as close to full as I possibly can before the last thing comes out, because he had other things on his team. Like, I'm really surprised he didn't have a Dark move on this Yveltal that could have did more damage to me. But considering this dude doesn't seem like he was, you know, doing that much training at all, I wasn't worried. So he comes out with Azumarill, and this is the moment I realized I could actually pull this off. Now, Azumarill has 4 moves. The first move was Ice Beam. So I set off a taunt immediately after seeing that he had Ice Beam and wasn't doing that much. That meant that he either was not too versed in his moves or my Pokemon's, you know, ability and nature and type. And so he goes for another Ice Beam while I'm near full health. And he gets a Freeze on my last Pokemon. My last one. And this is the first time in my entire adultish life that I actually had to look up a status effect and say, why am I not thawing out? No one has ever told me that being frozen doesn't go away unless you thaw them out. Like, nobody has ever told me that. And that did not help me out. him having Surf helped me out because that essentially meant that he can't use that move or it'll heal me. I made sure to breed this sucker so it would have that ability, because otherwise it would have just been not nearly as good as it could have been. But the fact that he had Ice Beam, which math involved, only has, what, 10 power points, and it had Play Rough, which only had 10 power points. That meant that he had to go 20 turns and beat me before he ran out of moves that could actually do damage to me. If he couldn't do enough damage to me with crits and nonsense and being froze hacks involved, then he would have ran out of moves and had to start using, well, Aqua Ring over and over again, but that didn't do anything because it already activated it. As well as Surf, which would have just helped bring me back up to full health, which probably would have been done with after the second. So this dude, he was really pressing on trying to get these crits. He was super lucky the first half and most of the third quarter, but his play roughs ain't doing nothing to me. Even froze, Jellicent don't care about no play roughs. This ain't no game. Jellicent will just eat them play roughs up. Does I do a defense down? Does I do an attack down? Jellicent don't even care, because Jellicent got them lefties, and Jellicent got that bulk. He had 207 total hit points when it came to this battle, and it's taken like 20 per hit maybe from these moves. Shoot, Play Rough was the only move that was actually doing something. I avoided it right there, and that was probably the only reason that I won. Because otherwise he would have probably brought my health down just enough for me to lose. Like these Play Roughs, they do like 30 apiece. He gets an attack down, but it doesn't matter. Jellicent ain't even moving, but it's still recovering. It's only recovering like roughly 20 hit points every turn. See, I'm at 37 right now. I get the leftovers, and it takes it up to... Oh, so it's like 22. So I get 22 hit points per recover, or per leftovers boost. And this here is when the dude runs out of... he runs out of play roughs and starts exclusively just using Ice Beam, because that's his only option. You see how close this is? You see how low my hit points are? But leftovers, they put him back up. He uses the Ice Beam. It's at 42. It goes down to 27. 27 plus 22 is what? Oh, it's not even doing 22. It's like 12. I'm not doing very good math when it comes to adding and subtracting right now. But I'm doing enough to see that I was stalling the heck out of this thing, and I wasn't even able to move. Like this Jellicent of mine, I was so proud of the fact that it was able to pull this off, and the crits didn't just keep happening to me. Like the dude's luck must have ran out. Like he was coming into this full steam on nothing but luck. And I'm in the red. I'm staying in the red. And he's using his last couple of Ice Beams trying to get me further down. Because if he can get me past 10, maybe that next one is going to work. I'm still froze. I'm not doing nothing. But recovering, using them leftovers. What is this? How many Ice Beams has he used? He used one at the beginning of this fight. He used a couple in between, and he used them up after he used his Play Roughs. And so, after he ran out of Ice Beams, he forfeited, because he knew that nothing else was going to happen. He was going to have to start using Surf, or start using Aqua Ring for no reason. That was going to bring my hit points up over time, just because of the turns giving me a free leftover healing. And then at the end of it, he would have had something using Struggle or something on a Ghost type Pokemon with a bunch of bulk that would have been shrugging it off like it was nothing, and he would have been taking quarters of his health down until he lost all the way. So basically, I just stalled this dude out. Yeah, that was wild. Later.